I already said Braun Strowman, I think, is going to defeat Goldberg. The Goldberg return has been a flop. Not all Goldberg's fault, not all WWE's fault. Coronavirus played a big part of it. But Roman Reigns taking himself off of Mania put a big monkey wrench in there as well. And I just can't see WWE, if they were going to give it to Roman Reigns, I just can't see WWE saying, we'll keep the belt on Goldberg for a couple of more months until Roman Reigns is comfortable to return. And then we'll put the belt on Roman Reigns. No. Ain't happening. I think Braun Strowman is going to be rewarded for still competing, for his backing of WWE Online, for being a little bit of a dick. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bray Wyatt and Braun is the next feud. So I am going to go with Braun Strowman to win the belt. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Rhea Ripley, I think, is going to retain. I'd love to see Charlotte Flair win the NXT Women's title. But I think, it would help, obviously, the NXT brand. But WWE it's a marathon, not a sprint. I remember when Sunday Night Heat used to get Shangada ratings. And, what's funny about it? NXT gets average ratings, to say it nicely. They're all under the WWE banner. It's not like World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated has a different corporation for NXT. So if NXT does 700,000 viewers or 600,000 viewers, it's still all under the WWE banner. So at the end of the day, it's about money. It's about the money. So that's why I fucking said since day one, I hate when people try to compare AEW and NXT. NXT is under the WWE banner. NXT is not its own corporation. It's not like NXT would fold and WWE. It's just, you can't look at it like that. So Charlotte, just on a superficial level, could help the NXT product. But I think also a lot of people would be very annoyed that Charlotte is taking up an opportunity that another woman in NXT could be having. So I think there would be a lot of dissension on Charlotte having the NXT title and being in NXT for an extended period of time. The only two reasons why I would be fine with Charlotte winning the NXT title is, number one, she's awesome. I don't buy into all that bullshit online that, she's been handed everything. Motherfucker's got the 5 tools. So her in NXT will only elevate women to another level. I'm sorry. You have fucking some of the other women taking on Charlotte instead of Rhea Ripley, immediately taken to a different level. So Charlotte in NXT would help some of the other women. Bianca Belair, what's a more intriguing match? Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair versus Charlotte for a title? So I look at it like that. Charlotte could help. But on the flip side, though, I think there would be so much dissension. Another thing that I think about, too, is where does Charlotte go after this? If Charlotte loses to Rhea Ripley, who does she feud with? We don't want to see Charlotte versus Becky again. We don't want to see Charlotte versus Bayley again. We don't want to see her against any fucking Four Horsemen again. Does Charlotte start feuding with Shayna Baszler? It's like Charlotte, they're in a weird situation with Charlotte right now because I can't figure out who she feuds with next. So if Charlotte were to win the NXT championship, the most logical reason is she would have a new bunch of opponents to feud with. So on paper, as much as you don't like Charlotte, it almost sounds like Charlotte needs to win this because Charlotte has all these new opponents she could take on. If she loses, who the fuck is Charlotte going to feud with next? Think about the roster and think about who is showing up. Who does she feud with? Unless she takes time off of TV, who the fuck wants to see Zelina Vega feud with Charlotte? Seriously. Nothing against Zelina Vega, but seriously. So, my immediate reaction is Rhea Ripley retains. And whoever wins the NXT Women's Ladder match, which I'm hoping is Io Shirai, Io Shirai, I think, will lose to Rhea Ripley as well. Now, it would be pretty fascinating to see Io Shirai taking on Charlotte, but I don't know, man. Charlotte versus Asuka, it is a little bit tiresome, but again, this is the fault to the WWE Women's Division. I'm with you, Mish. Charlotte with the NXT Championship, that it's going to trigger the internet. You're going to have all these little bitches, complaining about it, but I think I put up a really good argument just now that she would have a whole crop of women to feud with, and she would bring other people to another level. What do you do with Charlotte if she loses? So my immediate thinking is Rhea Ripley retains this belt, but I just can't see all three women retaining their belts. So you know what? I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to say Charlotte Flair gets the win. Charlotte could lose the belt in a month or two. It's just a temporary stay in NXT. Charlotte could help elevate one or two other women in the process. I'll go with Charlotte. I originally was going to go with Rhea in my predictions, but I'm going to go with Charlotte.